Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. It feels so strange saying happy Saturday. I hope this video finds you all healthy, safe, and well. Wow. We are like almost 6 months into 2020. This year is epic. It is epic. It is not giving us a chance and an opportunity to catch our breaths. And I can't even say we're on the heels of COVID because we are still very much in it, but what a time we are in. I really was struggling with myself about coming on because I feel so many different things this morning. But most of you know I do not shy away from uncomfortable conversations and trying to hold space for those conversations to happen. So I did want to share with you guys the some of the recap from our Storytime and Wine event last night that was about stories about being Black in America. And we had a nice group. We just a few recaps I want to share with you all. And I want to thank everyone that came out. I really want to thank our white allies who agreed to come in and hold space for those Black stories to be told. They sat and they listened. And we had an opportunity at the end for Q&A and for everyone to share. And what I was really impressed with was their vulnerability. And they asked, what can I do? They asked the questions. No one came in with this sense of they have the answers to tell us what to do. And I appreciate that. And I got to tell you, some of what I'm seeing here on Facebook, some of you need to be doing the same thing. You are spending a lot of time, again, telling Black people how they should respond and how they should act. I don't want to get into that just real quick because that was some of the stuff that sort of riled me up a little bit. But a couple of things that we also talked about is we talked about some of the basic language around how people look at racism and their mindsets about racism and some of the microaggressions that we all have and how to also tell the difference between racism and prejudice and discrimination. So just some of those basic things, and really, wanting to know what can they do now as a person who's not of color, a person that's not Black, how they can really help and moving everything forward. So we stayed on for about over 2 hours, actually, and we talked, extensively about those things. And so, again, I appreciate that. But what I wanted to share with you all, and I hope this really helps, I'd like to share with some of my white friends some of the things that I really would suggest and recommend that you all be doing right now, because you seem to be adding fuel to the fire with some of your posts. I mean, I'm floored by some of the things that you all are you're thinking it and you're posting it. And that is not helping the situation. Good morning, Yvette. Thank you so much for coming on. I had to get this out of my system before we talked this morning. But so here's a couple of things that I want to bring up with you. Would like to suggest that you all take a day of rest from posting on your African American friends' Facebook posts. I would suggest you take a day of rest to sit back and just read what Black people are saying. Take a seat and read and take it all in. And don't feel that you need to have an opinion. If there is a need to talk, then maybe ask, what can I do? But I think we need to step back. You need to step back and just listen right now. Just listen. Because a lot of you do not have the information that you need, and you do not have the knowledge base to be able to have an impactful conversation with Black people right now in order to make a difference. A lot of you are not equipped. And I'm saying that because I'm looking at your posts and I'm reading them. And it's not helping. So don't feel like you got to always come to our party knowing everything. For once, in this moment, take a seat, please, and just listen. Some of you are talking about the riotings. Listen, it's all over. We've come off of the anxiety of COVID-19, right? We just got ready to relax a little bit, right? Even though we know it's still lurking out there, but we're able to relax. Now here's this all over the news, right? All over social media. You're right, Yvette. You will never know what it's like to be Black because they aren't. And that's why it's important for them to be in a position where they can sit back and listen and learn. So some of you are saying, well, this is my city. This is where I live. This is my community. I have a right. I have a right. I have a right. There it goes. That sense of privilege. I have a right to say something. Let me remind you that European whites are the architect of burning down and pillaging cities, countries, villages. They've gone in and taken whole ass people and brought them back to a foreign land and enslaved them. This is nothing new. But then when it is used as a form of expression of all the trauma and the pain and the frustration for Black people, all of a sudden, this is senseless. What use is this? Why is this doing? Who is this helping? I'm not saying it is the answer. But what I'm saying is, stay out of it. That's what I'm saying. Just stay out of it. George Floyd also had a right. And I see, and this is part of my argument, I see more of an outrage about a Target being burned down or an AutoZone or a Burger King than I am a Black man's life. And let us not forget the Black women. Let us not forget Breonna Taylor just a few weeks ago. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for walking in someone's house and shooting them dead? This is being Black in America. Just being is risky. And so when you really, really think about that you're not safe in your own home, you're not safe at the park, you're not safe anywhere, not just from the law enforcement, but also from all of your other fellow Americans that are walking around that can just say, I feel threatened. So take a day of rest. And this is not the time for self-righteous posting and policing on social media about how Black people should act. There's enough of that going on. And so what you can do, a couple of things that I shared last night with the group is, so one thing I said, please take, I would say take a day of rest, white people. Take a day of rest of posting and responding to your African American friends on social media. Just sit back, watch, and read and learn. Number 2, read a book that will enlighten you. We shared several books last night. The New Jim Crow, one I didn't mention was White Fragility, White Rage, and then a new one that I brought up. It's a memoir by Kais Limon, How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America. And heavy. An American memoir. Heavy. I also want to share a link with you where here is something that you can do. Buy Black. This is, you know, we've got a lot to work on in the Black community, but I'm going to share this link also, and you can go on this website. It's WeBuyBlack.com. You might not be able to buy everything off of there that you need. It's certainly not Amazon, but they've got household products, they've got jewelry, just things like that. So whenever you need some, if you think about going to Amazon, you know, maybe stop and say, you know what, let me see if We Buy Black has this product, and let me buy from there and let me support in that way. And then I also shared some anti-racism resources. So that link is on my page. You can find that there, and that has a whole list of books and websites and different things that you can look at. Everybody has a part to play in this. The Black community, we have work to do. We know that. We're going to do that. The white community has work to do. They need to get to it. And if they don't know what to do, then hey, you can find, we'll be happy to tell you what you can do. The religious community got a lot of work to do. We are all a part of this broken system. We are actually helping to manifest some of this brokenness because we individually are broken. And so I always believe in that we need to be the change we want to see in the world, right? So it's going to start with us. It's going to start with our actions, our behaviors, our mindset. And so these are just the smaller baby steps that we have to take now in order to sort of turn this big, heavy wheel around. It's never going to happen in my lifetime or yours. But let's start to be the ones to make that turn. And then we start to teach that to our younger generation, right? So they can continue that. But what we're seeing here, people, no lie, this is a revolution. And there is no coincidence that all of this is happening this year, right in the middle of a pandemic, right on the heels of, you know, another election getting ready to happen. That we have the president that we have the kind of leadership that we have. If you believe in God, this is the time to really, you know, pray. Pray for our nation. Pray for one another. We need to pray. And we also need to do the work. All right? So I had to come on, share that because this has been weighing on me. It was really intense but wonderful conversation last night, and again, I appreciate everybody who came on and shared. And yeah, let's just go out and change the world. Okay, guys, y'all be blessed. Bye-bye.